what does Jesus look like? Now, here's the challenge to this question is we could go around the room, we could go online and poll each one of us. We could say, what does Jesus look like? And how many of you think we'd get exactly the same answer from every single person we'd ask? Right? So we go, well, yeah, that's a little tricky, right? So if we all can't agree on exactly what Jesus looks like, how do we know how we can look like Jesus? And this gets compounded, right? When there's lots of us trying to follow Jesus and we're trying to figure out what does this look like. Now, when I was thinking of, okay, how would I answer this question? There's a verse that came to my mind. I go, well, I would probably point someone to this verse. And one of my favorite verses, Galatians chapter 5. This is known as the fruit of the Spirit. It says this, but the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So this is what, living in the Holy Spirit, according to the text, this is what should be evident in our lives if the Holy Spirit is a part of our life. And so what does Jesus look like? Well, I would say, well, all of those would be things that Jesus looks like, because that's what the Holy Spirit produces in our life. And this matters immensely how easily you and I can think about what Jesus looks like, how easily we can communicate that to other people, and whether or not you and I who claim to follow Jesus, whether we actually look like that matters immensely. Let me illustrate why. Shane Blackshear said this: most people who disengage from Christianity don't do so because they have intellectual difficulties with the resurrection or miracles. We don't want to say, well, that's what their issue is. And he's saying, no, it's not that. They disengage because if Jesus looks like what the Christians around them say he looks like, they want no part of him. So oftentimes when someone either walks away from Christianity, or maybe you've tried to share why Jesus matters to you with them, they just go, I'm not interested. We want to say, oh, they just intellectually can't agree to some of these things. And I tend to agree with Shane's perspective. No, it's probably not that. It's probably that they're looking at this view of Jesus that we're portraying, and they're saying, I don't want that. I don't want that kind of a Jesus. And I'll just be transparent with you. There's plenty of versions of Jesus that I've seen from Christians that I have decided I don't want that. Like this Jesus you're talking about, this Jesus you're trying to replicate, I don't want that Jesus. And thankfully, I don't think that Jesus is the Jesus I find in the scriptures and the Jesus I have experienced personally. But for some people, if that's all they know, then this is what they're going to react to.